Hey there and happy Wednesday. So there was a little delay before I went live because I couldn't find a punch and an ink pad for today's live project. And of course, where is it always when you can't find something? Right in front of you. And as I looked around behind me on my side desk over here and everything, it was right in front of me where I would have put it when I was going live anyway. So it's like that. I'm sure I'm not the only person that happens to. So here I am, and I'm excited because it's Easter week, and that's a big thing. Faith is a big thing here in our family, and so that's something to be excited about. And so I have an Easter card. So many of you must be meaningful for as well, because I have a lot of people that have been into this faith collection bundle. So I had said when I did a previous card using this that I'd probably be using, you know, the negative or the positive image, and like, what do you do with the things that you cut out and it's going to make its way back into another project? And that is what I am doing today, is using these little arches from a previous project, and I'll show you where it came from so it'll make sense to you in case you copy along as I inspire you that way. So let me get my camera turned around. Here we go. Hopefully, my youngest is out cutting down trees today. It's so windy out there, goodness, and he's cutting trees, and so I'm hoping that that doesn't sound so loud in my background here, as it does to me anyway. Okay, so here is the card, front and center. So not too long ago, I made this card, and I took the vellum from the Floral and Gingham Vellum 12 by 12, and I cut the arches out from the Everyday Arches. And so I had all of these pieces here from cutting that out, and I'm like, okay, we got to do something with this. And so for today's project, that is this piece right here. So there we go. It's kind of like the empty tomb, the stone being rolled away, and I love how that just kind of happened, and kind of one of those little fun surprises. Don't we love fun surprises, especially when crafting, when something just happens and then the idea comes together and you didn't have to work so hard on it? Those are rare times. So like, celebrate the little things, right? Okay, so the bundle I'm using, Faith Collection, I'm not going to go into it too much just because I feel like I have been using it quite a bit, but it's such a good one. So it's got the coordinating dies. The two dies that I'm using from today's project are both of the crosses, and I think that surprises people because you see a cross here and you go, okay, that's a cross, but you'll see why you need both of them when I do today's project. And then the Everyday Arches, it is a bundle, but I'm just using like one of the like medium to larger of those arches today for this. All right, so let me get that set aside here. And the colors that we're using today, quite a few little pieces kind of. So we've got some Pool Party, Basic White, Lemon Lolly, Old Olive, and then the Floral Gingham 12 by 12, and Pecan Pie. So Floral and Gingham Vellum, that's what that is. All right, so let me just get this folded. I'm gonna give that a nice little, it's already scored, so I'm just gonna give it a nice finish with my bone folder here. Hi there, Donna, good to see you, and Joyce. So how I'm going to start this card is, oh, I don't like that one. It looks like my embossing folder missed the point there. Let me grab a different one. Okay, this one looks better. That other one, just like I said, just looked like I didn't even emboss the side. I wonder if it slid as I was running it through. So these are pieces from a recent class, and so I've done this part ahead of time. And this is from the Forever Plaid embossing folder. As you can see, the size of this, like, this is just half of the folder. So it's a very big, large folder, 3D, so you get some nice designs out of that. So what I had people do is take the 2 3/8 inch punch, open that up, and after I see people punch, I'm always like, okay, when I do my next video, I need to remind people, flip your punches over, guys. Then you'll see exactly where you're going to be punching. I had a class. I was so excited. Such a great group. Lately, my people have been so, I don't know, just like, it just fills me. Like, I love being around my stampers. They've been so kind, having so much fun, and it just fills me with joy. And then I watch them do this, and they're like, do I need to do this or that, you know? And I'm like, nope, just flip it over. And then you can see that where to go. So I just had them push it in as far as it goes and just kind of eye it to center it. Not a big deal. One way or the other. And then here we go. So today's card, like I said, is going to be using up these pieces. So now I need to keep that trend going. I'm going to save all these circles and then wonder what I'm going to do with all these leftover circles. Okay, so now we have the 2 3/8 punch punched out. And then I have this piece here of Lemon Lolly cardstock. And I cut this, let me just double check here, 3 inches by 3 inches. So I'm going to take this embossed section here and just start putting some adhesive around that. And then I can put my 3 by 3 square right on there. And then I'm just going to add some more adhesive around the edges and then some more behind the Lemon Lolly there. Now this is ready to go on my card base. So it's Pool Party layer on top of Pool Party card base. So we've got that going on there. Now the interesting thing about this Floral and Gingham, which is part of that Floral Delight suite of products, is this gingham you can put your adhesive on and it doesn't show through. I think the biggest thing is because there's, you know, the coloring throughout. There's the Pool Party, kind of, it almost looks more bluish than Pool Party, but it is Pool Party, just kind of a darker version. And then we've got some nice pattern on there. So when I go over this with my adhesive, you don't see that show through. So that's kind of a nice thing. You don't have to worry about it, because gingham, you do kind of have to worry about your adhesive showing through. So now we have that. But what's also cool is that you still see this that has been punched out. And so next, I'm going to go, oh shoot, I got ahead of myself. I'm going to just flip this up so it doesn't lay down. I'm going to put that in there so it doesn't tape itself out. I was like reaching for the next layer. I went, shoot, we forgot to do this. So I just have kind of like a 1 to a 1 1/4. That part of it isn't so big, by 4 inches. So something around that. You'll want it to for sure be 4 inches, but you know, whatever you feel comfortable in tearing. So this is Old Olive. For a little bit of grass, I'm just going to rip it towards me. And then we have, whoops, didn't get too smooth there on the end. Not that it has to be terribly smooth, but I just don't want one sticking straight up there. So I want to tear that off. So now we have kind of a more natural grass pattern there. Now I'm going to just put some adhesive straight across this. And this is going to line up. And I love just having this, like it just adds a lot there. So that's going to sneak underneath that arch. So now you can kind of see the grass on there. That's what that's intended for. Okay, now the next piece that I'm going to add here is that cross. And like I said, there's 2 cross dies from the Faith Collection bundle. And so this die I've already pre-cut here out of pecan pie cardstock. So what I did then for everybody attending the class is brought out this chunk of pecan pie cardstock and I put an adhesive sheet on the back. I love these adhesive sheets. I've been bringing them to class, and sometimes, you know, you don't know what a product looks like. It comes in a package of 12 by 6 inches and it looks like this. So if you're not sure what you're looking for, you might not see it when you're looking at some of the things that I bring to sell. So yeah, you can just cut that down, put it on whatever size of cardstock you need, and this works wonderfully. Okay, let me bring this. So the next die that I'm using is the detailed one here, and this one's kind of fun. So I'm just going to sneak that up in there to get it tight to conserve the cardstock always. All right, and I'm just going to run this through my cut and emboss machine. Okay, so this is what we have. So now we have all that design on there. And once I start to peel off the sticker part, the nice thing about peeling off the adhesive sheets is a lot of times the extra tiny little pieces will stick to that backing, and then we just have a few to take off from the cross. Well, what I was telling people, sometimes because this is now all sticky, sometimes just sticking this to my fingers will make all the little pieces here, those little tiny chunks that you don't want on your cross, it'll stick to your fingers, and then you can just put that in your little garbage here, like so, along with about 3 dead ladybugs in my garbage. Okay, so I've got that. So now this, I've got all the tiny little pieces off, I think, yep, and even from the back side. I always like to check the back side on detailed smaller things like this, because sometimes you think that they're off, but do you ever have them like fold behind and then they don't show up until you put it on what it needs to go on? So now this is going to be layered on that cross. I'm going to actually set it down for better success here. So it'll just lay right on top of the other. I kind of stretched it out a little bit when I was taking off those pieces. So now we have this, like so. How fun is that, right? I love it. I love it, love it. Okay, so now I'm going to take my dimensionals here, and I'm just going to cut this little piece, or strip, I should say, of my dimensionals, maybe. And well, the cutting was easy. It's getting this backing off. There we go. So now I've got that. I'm just going to run this along the back side there. And let me grab some of my mini dimensionals. I feel like I've really been using these minis a lot in both the white and the black. Okay, those backings are off. And this is ready to get put on top of my arch here. So I have that. That looks so nice on there. You can see it's coming together. So now we're finally going to open up an ink pad, right? That's a lot of doing without stamping. So this is the Pecan Pie ink pad. And I had people choose. I'm going to stamp out the He is Risen. There's a thinking of you in there. There's a God is love. So what's nice is you can use this for all sorts of different occasions too. And this is Lemon Lolly, about a 1/2 inch strip. And I always like to give my people like full strips so that they have better success stamping, and then they can just cut it down. They don't feel so required to stamp in this tiny little piece there. And then I'm just going to do that same thing again, just cut a little strip off my dimensionals. I'm sure you guys kind of savor those around the edges pieces like I do for exactly this reason. And I'm just going to kind of put that off to the side here. He is risen. And then for my embellishments, guys, I have these Tinsel Gems 4-pack. These are, oh shoot, I was going to double check. I'm trying to think if they're, I've got my annual catalog, because I think there's a 3-pack of the gems and there's a 4-pack of the gems. And of course, as a demonstrator, I'm not allowed to show the next catalog, so I don't want to accidentally put that on camera, but I'm going to see. Yeah, I don't see them in the next catalog, so I think they are on the last chance. Maybe both the 3 and 4 are on the last chance. I think they might be, and I think they are both discounted a little bit, so you might want to consider that. I have loved these. Here's the full colors of the greens, blues, the pinks, and the yellows there. So I'm just going to grab, since there's a lot going on, I'm just going to grab only a couple of these. And I'm just going to grab one of the larger yellows and one of the smaller yellows and just kind of fill in that space right there. And I feel like that kind of just completes the card without adding too much, because there's a lot going on with the different colors, textures, designs, and shapes and such. And so for the inside, He's Risen, I just kind of want to leave it a little bit blank so you can insert your own message. But with that Faith Collection stamp set, there are some little daffodils here. And so I'm just going to continue the pecan pie ink into the inside, and these two little flowers are on the same image, like, so you stamp them, they are connected together there. And that's all I'm going to do for the inside of the cards. Let me just finish by adding a little bit of adhesive here and get that in the inside. And this is 4 by 5 1/4, my usual inside to my card. And I had somebody just reach out recently and say, what is that usual size of that you put in the inside of your card? Well, this is usually my standard card size, so my standard inside is usually 4 by 5 1/4. Sometimes I change that up. If this outside is a little bit smaller, then I might make this a little bit smaller to kind of coordinate that, but that is my normal. So in case you're just joining in too, I just want to bring back over this so you can kind of see this came out of this sheet here, and I'm just kind of repurposing that, so getting 2 cards out of like the one cut that way. So hopefully that gives you some inspiration based on that fake collection there. Whoops. There we go. My tripod would not release, so now it looks like there's an earthquake going on. I live in Minnesota. It's a rare thing. I think it's happened, but an earthquake's not going to happen. All right, depending on what the guys have me doing, I might do a double feature today because I have lots of projects lined up. Actually, behind me on my side desk here, I've got all these projects that I want to show you. And yesterday, time got away from me. It was a busy day because of the guys starting planting. We got our first seeds in the ground on the farm, which is always exciting, but that means a lot of running on my end and getting food to the guys to keep them going, which is exciting too. And I love being able to help and being flexible that way too. But also the new ordering went live as well. So if you guys need any help doing online ordering, or if you still want me to order for you, I can do that. It might even be me starting an order for you and then emailing it to you just so you have that link to opt in to get the rewards. So every time you order, minimum of $20, which is not a lot, you will get rewards. So it's like Kohl's Cash, but those rewards can be banked for up to a year. It's really exciting. So it used to be, to get any rewards, you would have to place an order all at once of $150, and so now it's just $20. You get 10% just like that. So it is good for so many reasons. So if you need help with that, or if you're wondering, am I opted in or not? So I just had asked my first order that came through, I said, now, did you have any problem ordering yesterday, or what did it look like on your end? Because for me, as a demonstrator, things always look so different. And she said, nope, as soon as I went in to order, the first thing that popped up on the Stampin' Up! Website was asking me to opt into rewards. And you want to say yes. I cannot do that for you. That is part of having your own account. And so many of you already have your own account, so it's just clicking that yes, so that when you order going forward, you will always get the hard-earned rewards that you deserve. So that's a good thing. Hi there, Lois. But like I said, if you have any questions on that, because like anything, anytime anything's new, like, please ask away. I'd rather have you ask than have you miss out on something that you deserve. So maybe I'll see you later today, but for sure tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.